Number 42, Roger McDowell.
New pitcher into the game for the New York Mets is Roger McDowell, the right-hander, 6'1", 175 pounds, from Cincinnati, lives down in Jackson, Mississippi. He was 6-5 last year with a 2.83 ERA.
Those are his stats for the 1986 season. As you can see, he's been in a couple of games already, and he hasn't fared very well.
McDowell will face Jack Clark, who struck out, grounded out, and popped out this afternoon. 2-5-0 for St. Louis, 1-2-1 for the Mets. Ninth inning at Shea Stadium. Fouled away.
Much like our opener in St. Louis. Cardinals won that one 2-1. I'd take the same result here today, wouldn't you?
You betcha. Reminder, we'll be on the air at 12:30 on Wednesday and Thursday with more action. All three of these Mets games for you along the Cardinal Television Network.
And we outdrew the Mets too, didn't we?
That's right.
In a smaller ballpark.
That just missed outside.
Our paid on opening night was better than 48,000. If memory serves me properly.
Wonderful fans. Cardinal fans. Something special. 2 balls and 1 strike to Clark. Jack grew up in California. Lou Brock and Roberto Clemente were his boyhood idols. Not bad role models, I would say. That's low. 3-1.
He must have been a hitter in high school while he was growing up. Huh?
You know, he was drafted as a pitcher in 1973. That's right, Jack Clark. Drafted as a pitcher.
Fire that scout.
I can remember a Cardinal who was a pitcher in his early days. Stan the Man Musial.
That's before he hurt his arm.
That's right. Sure was.
Fire that scout also. And fire the scout that signed Babe Ruth as a pitcher.
That's another one.
A lot of scouts just bit the dust.
Clark leading it off in the ninth. Cardinals leading it 2-1 and a full count. McDowell in relief of Gooden. Popped up. Santana waits. Makes the play. There's a look at the scene at Big Shea. Andy Van Slyke this afternoon is 0 for 2. He struck out, walked,
Right fielder,
and popped
Andy
out.
Van Slyke.
Well, I know that Whitey Herzog would love to have a little insurance tally.
Backing out of play.
Andy's looked good at the plate today. Even though he's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop-up, he's had some very good rips, and he had a good one on that first pitch. Cardinals within 3 outs of a win, and if they do win, they'll be 5-1 on this young season.
That's low. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Mets will fall. 2 wins, 3 losses, and 3 losses in a row. They won their first 2 games. They beat the Pirates, then snowed out over there, and then knocked off Philadelphia before the Phillies came back and won the last 2 of the 3-game set. Philadelphia is going to surprise some people this year, Jay. They're a lot better.
John Felsky got a nice club down there in the city of brotherly love. 2 balls and 1 strike to Van Slyke. Roger McDowell on the hill. Gets
That's a
by,
base hit.
and Andy is on. A base hit for Van Slyke. A 1 on and 1 out with Pendleton coming up.
Andy gets this ball right off the end of the bat. Watch it. Off the end of the bat. it fools the pitcher is he put his glove down a little too quick, and it's something that pitchers do all the time. When that ball comes off the bat and you're only 60 feet away, your first reflex is to protect yourself. Get the hand up there quickly. It's hard to tell whether that ball is hit hard or soft, Jay.
See Hernandez holding at first, and Pendleton 0 for 3 on the afternoon.
And Keith's in fair territory, isn't he?
Jack Buck was talking about that, and I mentioned the fact that you were one of the first people to point that out last year. This will be backing out of play down the left side.
Well, you've got to play by the rules. The rules state that all the players have to be in fair territory, except the catcher, and they have a box back there for him. And you see Keith. Keith had the habit of putting his right foot where his left one is right now, and his left foot way out of fair play. And the reason he could make the tag quickly over there.
No balls and 1 strike to Pendleton. Throw over to first. We'll pause for station identification. This is the St. Louis Cardinals television network. Pendleton swings through. 0-2.
Good breaking ball.
Owenby and Darling, the scheduled pitchers on Wednesday afternoon. Tudor and Fernandez go on Thursday, and the Cardinals will move into Montreal for action Friday, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon, and then on to Chicago for 3. Van Slyke is running. The throw, and he is safe.
That's Andy's second stolen base of the day. He's 2 for 2. The Cardinals have swiped 3. And now they have 18 stolen bases in 19 attempts on the young season. Van Slyke takes a look to see what Pendleton's doing.
Pendleton striking out, but Andy is in there and in scoring position for Mike Heath. Heath has struck out twice and flied to right as Gary Carter talks things over with Roger McDowell. I think Davey Johnson has some concern about his bullpen, Mike, for 1986. He'd like to see some things shape up for him in the bullpen.
Catcher, Mike.
He had a problem with it in the month of September last year.
Sure did.
Jay. No mistake, though. This is a good New York team.
Now let's see if he could pick up Van Slyke. Strike on the inside corner.
It's going to take Mike a while to get his feet on the ground in the National League. He'll have to get around at least once to get a line on some of these pitchers.
Coleman tripled with 1 out in the 6th, and McGee got him home on a single. After singles by Smith and the pinch hitter Hurdle in the 8th, Coleman popped out, and then McGee got the sacrifice fly. Willie McGee with both of the RBIs for the Cardinals. 2 strikes the count on Mike Heath.
That was a great confrontation, wasn't it?
Yes,
Cy
it
Young
was.
Award winner from last year and the most valuable player from last year, one-on-one in key spots both times in this game, and the MVP won them both.
To the right side, Tuffle throws out Heath. Cardinals strand 1. They've left 5. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th.
And Abner has done it again. Look who's coming up for the New York Mets.
Tuffle, Hernandez, and Carter. More in a moment. Ken Daly came on in the 8th in relief of Horton. And he got Santana, Mitchell, and Dykstra. The chant starts, "Let's go Mets," as Daly will try to save it for Horton. Horton went 7 innings, gave up a run on just 2 hits. Struck out 3 and walked 4. Tim Tuffle leads it off. He is struck out. He got the only RBI for the Mets in the third with a sacrifice fly, and he flied out in the sixth to right. Former President Richard Nixon enjoying the action this afternoon. Cards have out hit the Mets 6-2. Just missed outside. The Mets opening their 25th season in New York this afternoon. Right down central, 1 ball and 1 strike. Final score, Kansas City defeated Boston 8-2. Baltimore leads Toronto 2-1. Toronto batting in the bottom of the 8th inning. High. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Cardinals have Todd Worrell heating up in the bullpen. And it's ball 3. Hernandez is on deck. Daly's got to come in to Tupple, a former American leaguer. Walked him. Oh, the tying run is on. And they start to chant Keith, Keith. And Whitey Herzog looks on. A year ago, the Mets won their home opener against the Cardinals in dramatic fashion in the 10th inning on a home run by Carter. They're trying to come back here before this sellout crowd. Daly to face Hernandez. Keith has grounded out twice and singled. Up the middle, Ozzie makes the stop, and good job by Heath backing up at first base. Boy, Ozzie did a splendid job as usual. Boy, covered some ground to get to that ball as John McSherry was trying to dodge it out there. Watch McSherry as this ball was hit hard. McSherry doing the dance, just got by him, and look at Ozzie leap, make the play, and they were able to get Tupple at second. Whitey Herzog comes to the mound as you look at the Wizard of Oz. And Todd Worrell gets the call. Daly goes 1 1/3 innings. And as Daly leaves, Todd Worrell will come on. We'll be back in a moment. There's the big guy, 6'5", 200-pounder from Arcadia, California, Todd Worrell, 26 years old. And a look at his stats for this season. Worrell was 3-0 last year with the Cardinals and a 2.91 ERA. Daly went 1 1/3, gave up no hits, struck out 1 and walked 1. And Wally Backman is running for Hernandez. And Gary Carter will be coming up. And on the PA system, they play New York, New York here. And these fans have stayed around as the shadows have engulfed this infield now on a beautiful afternoon. As the Mets open this season, Cardinals leading at 2-1. There's that final as the Royals won at 8-2 over the Red Sox. Gary Carter Well, he beat the Cardinals in the home opener last year with a homer in the 10th. And a lot of the fans remember that. Carter has flied to right, singled, and hit into a double play. Backman at first. The tying run. The winning run. Carter at the plate with 1 out, 9th inning. A little high. Carter looking down to third base coach Buddy Harrelson. Backman is going. It's down the line and foul. Backman might have had a chance to score as he was going on the play, but Coleman does an excellent job with his speed out there in left. 1 ball and 1 strike to Gary Carter. See if they send Backman again. Backman not going. Just missed outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Borderline pitch. Backman's going, fouled away, 2-2. Todd Worrell on the Sporting News All-America team in 1982. In the heat of the battle here at Shea Stadium, 9th inning. Backman goes. Throw to second by Heath late, and it's going to be 3-2 on Carter. Heath seemed to hesitate. Didn't get it away anywhere near in time to catch the speedy Backman. So a full count to Carter. Tying run at second. And a walk to Carter. Runners at first and second with 1 out for Darryl Strawberry. The Cardinal contingent looking out. The fans here on their feet everywhere you look. Strawberry 0 for 3. Worrell is outside. Fouled away. 1-1. A tying run at second with Backman. A winning run at first with Carter. 1 out. A strike on the inside corner as Worrell took something off that one. There are the base runners, and there is the situation. We're in the ninth. Inside, 2-1, or 2-2. Foster is on deck. be tied. Carter going for third. Good base running by Carter. And the winning run now at third with one out. Strawberry delivers. Here it is again. Right down the middle. Wally Backman comes home. We're 2-2. And the momentum swings to these Mets with this big crowd cheering them on as Foster will come to the plate. Whitey Herzog talks it over. Herzog has had his visit with the infield and with Worrell. Davy Johnson's Mets have battled back to tie the Cardinals and now have an opportunity to win it. Marvelous pitching performance by Ricky Horton may go by the board. Foster has flied to center, walked and popped out. The winning run down at third in the person of Gary Carter. Whitey brings the outfielders in. Ball one. Coming in to talk to Worrell. The Mets have tied it. Now they're trying to pull it out. Fouled away. George Foster had some great years in Cincinnati. Notice he's taking his glasses off. He was wearing them earlier, those sunglasses that he wears on the sunny days. Strike two. Worrell taking something off that one, and Foster was way out in front. The outfielders have been drawn in. Carter's down there at third. Time call. Popped up, coming back, a play for Heath. 2 out. Strawberry was going on the pitch. And now Howard Johnson comes out as a pinch hitter. Oh, it'll be Howard Johnson, the pinch hitter for Ray Knight. Johnson, 25 years old, from down in Clearwater, Florida, came over from Detroit for Walt Terrell in December of '84. This fella hit .255 against St. Louis last year. They call him Hojo. The Mets have tied it at 2, and they're trying to win it here in the ninth. The two managers. 2-6-0 for St. Louis. 2-3-1 for the Mets. Carter's at third. Strawberry over there at first. That doesn't make any difference. Howard Johnson in 85. His stats. Todd Worrell ready to come to Johnson. Fouled away. These Mets had a 3-run lead on Saturday afternoon at Philadelphia going to the ninth, lost it, and eventually lost the game. Cardinals have been tied here in the ninth, and now the Mets with Johnson at the plate trying to win it. Inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Carter represents the winning run. The Met catcher. Been an exciting afternoon. Watching Horton and Gooden duel. Horton winning that battle. Just a little low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Santana is on deck. Inside, 3 balls and 1 strike. Whitey Herzog looking out at Worrell as his club had a 2-1 lead coming to this bottom of the ninth. And it is popped up into short center. Ozzie makes the play. We're going to go to extra innings as the Mets come up with 1 in the bottom of the ninth. At the end of 9, it's 2-2. We have a new second baseman, Wally Backman.
And now playing third base.
And Tuffle has moved over to first.
Howard Johnson.
Howard Johnson takes over at third. If I'm not mistaken, it's the first time that Tuffle has played first base. We've got Johnson, Santana, Backman, and Tuffle now on the infield for the New York Mets. Ozzie Smith will lead it off. 10th inning.
For the Cardinals, shortstop Ozzie Smith.
Ozzie this afternoon has doubled, struck out. In the 8th, he singled and scored the go-ahead run on the sacrifice fly by McGee. The Mets come back to tie it. Roger McDowell gets it in there for a strike. Gooden went 8 innings, gave up 2 runs on 5 hits, struck out 6 and walked 1. McDowell came on in the 9th. Took something off that one, caught the corner. We'll check on how these two teams did in extra inning games last season. We're 2-2 in the 10th. Slap to the right side, and Backman comes over and made the play in time. It was bang, bang, and Tuffle, playing first base for the first time, had a very tough job, but he came up with it. Show it to you again. Backman went a long way to get that ball, threw on the run, and you can see it was very close, but Ozzie is out. And Worrell will bat for himself. A strike at the knees. Like he was trying to bunt his way on. Big as he is, if he could make contact, make something happen. Got a final score now on the Baltimore-Toronto game. The Orioles win it 2-1. Kansas City defeated Boston 8-2. Worrell strikes out. That's the second strikeout for McDowell. Vince Coleman this afternoon has flied to center twice. In the 6th, he tripled. Later scored on a single by McGee to get the Cardinals' first run. He popped out in the 8th in a ball that was mishandled by Santana, but as the ball popped out of his glove, Foster was there to pick it off. A strike on the inside corner. Vince hit .305 at Busch Stadium last year and only .231 on the road. Played a lot of racquetball and basketball during the off season, and he set up a batting cage in his mother's backyard to do some work, coming back off the tarp injury, of course. Kept him out of the World Series. Fouled away. Cardinals and the Mets in a dandy here. It's a day off tomorrow. Cardinals opening this 9-game road trip that will span 10 days with the day off tomorrow here in New York. Little check swing, shot down to Johnson, threw him out. Oh, McDowell handles the Cardinals in the 10th inning, 1-2-3. And into the bottom of the 10th we go, tied 2-2. Well, we're recapping the scoring for you, and we will do it again for those of you who have just joined us. The Mets got one in the 3rd as Horton walked Knight and Santana leading off the inning. Gooden sacrificed them along. Then there was a walk to Dykstra, and Tupple sacrifice fly got Knight home. Cardinals tied it up after a triple by Coleman with 1 out in the 6th. Willie McGee sent him home with a single. Cardinals took the lead after signals by Smith and Hurdle. It was McGee with a sacrifice fly to get McGee home. And then, of course, these Mets tied it up in the 9th. Santana, strike 1 to him. The Mets were 12-10 last year in extra inning games. The Cardinals were 7-8. That just missed. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pittsburgh at Philadelphia and Los Angeles at San Diego tonight. The only other National League action. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Rafael Santana. Santana hit well against the Cardinals last year, batted .293. Sliced foul. Daly was trying to save it for Horton, but in an inning and a third, he gave up a run on no hits as he struck out one and walked one. Worrell came on in the ninth. Jack Clark flips to Worrell. One out. And it's going to be Danny Heap as a pinch hitter. So McDowell goes 2 innings. McDowell gave up 1 hit, no runs. He struck out 2 and walked none. Danny Heap, 28 years old, from down in San Antonio, Texas. Came from the Astros in December of '82. The pitcher Mike Scott had some career highs in '85, hit .280. Strike on the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. He hit .310 against the Cardinals last year, and there is his average on the year at .280. That caught the corner, 1-2. Heap. Worrell picking up his first strikeout. And with 2 gone, it'll bring Len Dykstra to the plate. Dykstra is 0 for 3.
Seventh fielder, Lenny Dykstra.
Always afraid that Dykstra might be bunting. He's one of the most accomplished bunters in all of the National League. He's got Pendleton pulled up tight at third, and now time is called as we have a giant paper airplane that has hit the deck down beyond third. Frank Pulley, the third base umpire, retrieving it. And we're ready to go. 2-6-0 for the Cardinals, 2-3-1 for the Mets. Dykstra, 2 strikes to him. Mentioned that the Mets without Mookie Wilson. He's still down in Florida recuperating from that eye injury. Fouled away. These Mets have some new faces. Bob Oida, who was with Boston. Tim Tupel, who did some good hitting at Minnesota and can turn the double play, of course. Seen him in action today. Todd Worrell following Horton and Daly. That's high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wind now blowing in from center field. Earlier it was going out to left. And a 2-out single for Dykstra. Well, there's the winning run.
Mets first baseman
with 2 out. That's the 4th hit for the Mets. And Tupel, who has struck out, got the RBI on a sacrifice fly in the 3rd, then flied out and walked. Stands in. And a high hard one got him. Dwight Gooden is off the hook. Horton lost his opportunity for a big victory. Fouled away. Worrell out in front. of Tuffle here in the 10th. Bill Robinson coaches at first base for these Mets. Runner goes, and the throw is high. So now the winning run is down at second. Stolen base for Lenny Dykstra. He got a good jump on Worrell. And the throw from Heath a little high. But it would have had to have been absolutely perfect to have a chance at nipping him. The game is on the line. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tuffle. 2-2. Popped out of play. Tuffle went to junior college and then finished up at Clemson, South Carolina. Clemson University had 2 very fine years of college ball there. Hit .260 last season for the Minnesota Twins. Two and two. 2 out. Dykstra at second. Strikeout. After 10 here at Shea Stadium, it is 2-2 as Worrell picks up his second strikeout. There's the line score as we head into the 11th. For an adventure into St. Louis history and a unique wildlife experience, schedule a visit to Grant's Farm, the Anheuser-Busch complimentary hospitality facility in the St. Louis area. You can ride the trackless train, visit the Barnhof, stables and collection of horse-drawn vehicles. Tour Grant's Farm, the log cabin that was built by Ulysses S. Grant. Visit Anheuser-Busch's world-famous Clydesdale horses. Grant's Farm opens on April the 17th this week. The public tour is available Thursday through Sunday at 9, 10, and 11, and then at 1, 2, and 3 in the afternoon. Reservations are required and can be made by calling area code 314-843-1700. That's area code 314-843-1700. Or you can write to Grant's Farm Tours, 10,501 Gravois Road. That's Gravois for those of you not in the St. Louis area. Gravois. St. Louis, Missouri 63123 is the zip code. Bob Costas of NBC is on hand this afternoon, having some fun at the ballpark. Quite a ball game. Just sit down a moment. Just a moment. Sure. I know you're a very busy man these days. The Sportscaster of the Year in the United States of America. Congratulations to you on that award.
Now, here's the way I've got it figured. Michaels, Enberg, and Scully split all the serious votes, and I swept the prankster contingent and won by an upset plurality.
Well, you did very well in Mid-America, I'm sure of that. Bob, really, congratulations. Nice to see you some ball game.
Really has been, and a real pleasure for me, especially since it turned out to be such a good game, to break in on the radio with Jack and Mike today.
Right. Well, I know they're looking forward to having you over there, and of course we'll be looking forward to hearing from you on Saturday afternoons and Tony Kubek throughout the season. I thought Horton did a magnificent job here this afternoon. Both starters were very, very tough.
Except for that one streak of wildness in the 3rd inning, Horton was masterful and came just as close to beating Dwight Gooden, which would have been something for the scrapbook.
Jesse Orozco is on now, and he will face Willie McGee, who is 1 for 3. Mentioned earlier, Bob, when we were talking with Mike Shannon, that Davey Johnson has got some problems with his bullpen, and he hopes he can get them straightened out. Orozco looked very sharp there. Strike 1.
Jay, you recall it was just about this time of day, an afternoon game, last game of the series here in September, And the Cardinals down by 2 that Willie McGee took Orozco over the left center field fence for a 2-run homer and tied it up, although the Mets eventually won it on the Hernandez single in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, Orozco right now has 2 strikes on Willie. Willie got the 2 RBIs in this game, singling in the 6th and sending home Coleman, and then a single in the 8th to get Ozzie in. 2-2. We're in the 11th. Strikeout for Orozco. Your lovely wife, Randy, St. Louis lady, will deliver you a child pretty soon as we look again at this. And Orozco had the mastery he needed over McGee there. I want to wish you and Randy the best. I look forward to seeing you a couple of nights from now.
Thank you. You know, back during the playoffs, when we first found out she was expecting, Tony Kubek intended it as a favor, offered his congratulations, and it seems now as if she's been expecting for about 3 years. People think the kid is already in kindergarten.
Well,
so finally, in a couple of weeks, I'll be able to answer yes, yes. All right already.
That's right. Now Carter wants to talk things over with Orozco. And Orozco wants a new baseball and gets one from Joe West. McDowell, in relief of Gooden, went 2 innings, gave up a hit, struck out 2, and walked none. And now Orozco, the 3rd pitcher of the afternoon for Davy Johnson's Mets. A big crowd, a sellout here, enjoying the opener for the Mets, and enjoying a lot more right now after tying it up in the bottom of the 9th. Tommy Herr, 0 for 4. 1 ball and 1 strike.
This is a fitting renewal of this rivalry, isn't it? Couldn't be any other way.
It's probably a bellwether for what's to come. Johnson, Santana, Backman, and Tuffle on the infield now as Herr grounds to Santana. And they're 2 gone. I mentioned Tuffle is playing first base for the first time in his career. A very versatile young man over from the American League.
We've been talking about this on the radio side, Jay. Versatility will be prized now even more than ever with the 24-man rosters, especially in the National League. The impact is not as great with the DH in the American League, but over here, you've got to be able to do a number of things unless you're a superstar. That's why a Clint Hurdle sticks, and some other veteran players find themselves out of a job now.
Hurdle came in and did the job today. Jack Clark, strike 1 to him. Jack hasn't got a really good rip off Met pitching all afternoon.
Normally, he gets good hacks against Gooden.
That's a little high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Most of this big crowd has just stayed around. Better than 49,000 in the house. 47,000 plus paid today. Strike on the corner. Orozco, 6'2", out of Santa Barbara, California, 8-6 last year with a 2.73 earned run average. And when he's right, one of the most talented relievers in the game. Clark reached for it down the right side. Strawberry can't get there. Clark's going to go for 2, and good base running. Jack saw that Strawberry was having a little trouble battling the sun and had to come up and get that ball, and Clark is out there at second base with 2 gone. We'll look at it again. He just got it off the end of the bat, and you can see the Strawberry's battling the sun, and a bad hop there also.
Right field especially has become an awful sun field at this time of the day. I don't know if Strawberry could have gotten to it anyway, even had he seen it well.
Well, it's going to be Tito Landrum to come off the bench. Clark, the go-ahead run for the Redbirds at second base here in the 11th. And Landrum, who so often has done the job, talking earlier, categorizing the Mets and the Cardinals in different categories today. I kind of felt that the Cardinals had a little stronger bench, but Mike thought it might be about even. But Landrum, as you can see, off to a fine start. Man who's been in both leagues and played in World Series both for the American and National League teams over his career. Oh, and he had a rip.
The Mets lost something from their bench between the end of last year and the beginning of this, with Rusty Staub retiring and Tom Paciorek gone, Clint Hurdle claimed by the Cardinals, but then they made moves to bolster it. Tim Corcoran, Tim Tuffle over from the Twins, so they've regrouped.
Well, they're two outstanding clubs. Landrum, 31 years old, from Joplin, Missouri. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Landrum hit .429 in the league championship series. He was the top pinch hitter for the Cardinals last year, batted .333 as a pinch hitter. I see you looking at your watch. You want to go, huh?
No, Jay, I'm enjoying this immensely.
Strike on the inside corner, 1 and 2. Clark at second, 2 out.
This is the time when depth is important in the broadcast booth as well. Mike Shannon goes down on the field for the post-game interview. Jack's alone on radio. You're alone on television.
Nothing we can't handle, huh? I'm glad you dropped by, though. Outside, just outside, 2 and 2. Joe West has handled the chores behind the plate. Landrum, who does some modeling in the off-season. Never played high school baseball. 2 and 2 with 2 out. Clark at second. Oh, he got him. Took something off of it and tied Landrum in knots.
Boy, we're talking about vapor lock right there. He was absolutely paralyzed by a perfect pitch.
Second strikeout for Orozco. We'll go to the bottom of the 11th. Thanks to Bob Costas. Good to see you. 2-2, the Cardinals and the Mets.
For the Cardinals, now playing right field.
Tito Landrum
Number 51,
stays in right field, or stays into the game to play right field, as it is now Coleman, McGee, and Landrum in the Cardinal outfield left to right. Wally Backman, who scored the tying run in the ninth. He came into the game as a pinch runner for Keith Hernandez. Backman's first time at the plate and fouls it away. Backman is from Hillsboro, Oregon, a switch hitter. First selection back in the June '77 draft. We've got timeout called as Landrum trots in. My guess is he wants the glasses. Yes. It's a tough sun field out there in right, as we've mentioned before this afternoon. Coleman's now playing in the shade for the most part out in left. Backman led the National League second baseman in fielding last season. He played shortstop for the first time in his career against the Cardinals. He pops it to Clark. Backman trying to butt his way on, pops out.
Next pitch, Gary.
Well, Gary Carter won it in extra innings in the home opener for the Mets last season. Flied to right in the second, singled in the fourth, hit into a double play in the sixth, and walked against Todd Worrell. He was the first man Worrell faced in the ninth. Outside for a ball. And that's outside for ball 2. Carter, who once signed a letter of intent to play football at UCLA, Later signed with the Expos. That's a strike at the knees. 2-1. And Mike Shannon has rejoined us. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Well, Michael, before you left to go downstairs, you said old Abner had done it again, and then the Mets did it to tie it up. Two and two the count with Worrell facing Carter. Popped up and backing out of play. Three and two. One out and a full count to Carter. Worrell misses outside. And Carter trots down to first. He represents, of course, the winning run in this extra inning affair. And for Worrell, that is his second walk. Here's Darryl Strawberry.
Okay, I had a little trouble with my microphone here a second ago, but that's why. Those big guys always come up, it seems like, in the ninth inning in a close ball game. And of course, here we are in extra innings, same old story. Look who's there.
Strawberry singled and got the RBI in the ninth that tied this game up. Inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Foster is on deck. It's not. It has been a dandy affair here. And that's just inside. 3-0.
This has really been a good game.
I don't think there's any question about that. Hope you folks, wherever you are this afternoon, have enjoyed it. Worrell gets it in there. 3-1.
Very good ball game. And really typical of how these two baseball teams played in 1985. What they have, 6 extra inning games, Jay, and split them 3-3.
That's right. Fly ball into short left. Long way for Coleman to come, but he is there.
Vince broke back when the ball came off the bat, and there's good reason for that. When a fellow like Strawberry swings and hits the ball, a lot of outfielders have a tendency to break back.
Well, Foster is coming up, and we'll pause for local station identification. This is the St. Louis Cardinals television network. George Foster standing in against Todd Worrell. Carter down at first. Cardinals have out-hit the Mets 7-4. It's a 2-2 game in extra innings here. And ball 1 to Foster. Howard Johnson, who took over for Ray Knight, is on deck. Fly ball into right. And it is Landrum making the play in foul ground. He came over and took it just before that ball got to the wall. So We will move into the 12th at Shea Stadium in New York. Tied up 2-2. Jesse Orozco, the Mets man at the moment on the hill, came in the 11th. And after McGee and Herr had struck out and grounded out, Clark doubled, but he got Landrum to strike out. Now he will face Terry Pendleton to lead off the 12th. We mentioned earlier in extra inning affairs, the Mets were 12-10 last season. The Cardinals 7-8. Carter coming out. Johnson, Santana, Backman, and Tuffle are now on the infield with Foster, Dykstra, and Strawberry in the outfield for the Mets. Dwight Gooden went 8 innings, gave up 2 runs on 5 hits, struck out 6 and walked 1. McDowell went 2 innings, no runs, a hit, struck out 2 and walked none. Jesse Orozco, the third pitcher of the afternoon for Davy Johnson's crew. Here's Pendleton. Terry is 0 for 4. Outside for a ball. 2 games in the American League. Kansas City beat Boston 8-2 and Baltimore over Toronto 2-1. The Texas at Milwaukee game is just getting underway. They're in the 2nd inning. 1 ball and 1 strike to Pendleton. Pendleton born in Los Angeles, 25 years of age. That just missed inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Day off tomorrow. Wednesday afternoon, Owenby and Ron Darling will hook up here. Fouled away. 2-2. The getaway game on Thursday will have John Tudor and Sid Fernandez. Orozco ready to come to Pendleton. Full count. Orozco had some elbow problems. Davy Johnson was very careful in using his bullpen ace last year. Walk to lead it off here in the 12th. Orozco had struck out McGee and Landrum. Now he walks Pendleton to start the 12th. And here's Mike Heath. Be nice to see him get on track right here. He's 0 for 4 on the afternoon. Orozco from Santa Barbara, California, blossomed in '83 and '84 when he had a hand in better than 71 victories, 48 saves. And a throw down to first. Pendleton back in time. Mind you, Tuffle playing first base for the first time in his career right now. Good look at Gary Carter. At last play, as Pendleton had to hustle back to the bag. Mike Heath. Squared around the bunt. 1 ball and no strikes to Mike. Pops it up and no play. Heath was originally drafted by the Yankees back in June of '73 as a shortstop. Turned out to be one of the very fine defensive catchers in the game and fine handler of pitchers. A very versatile veteran. He can also play third and the outfield. The 1-1 pitch. Nope, he's going to go over to first. Cards won 10 and lost 8 against the Mets last year. They're tied up in extra innings in this first confrontation of '86. Caught the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Heath looks back to home plate umpire Joe West with a word or two. Orozco goes over to first. Mets took the lead in the 3rd. Cardinals tied it in the 6th. Went ahead in the 8th. Mets tied it in the 9th. We're tied 2-2. 12th inning. Pendleton with a leadoff walk. A little high. 2-2. Orozco was traded to the Mets for Jerry Koosman prior to the '79 season. Count is full. That just missed outside. And Heath looks down to Nick Leyva, coaching at third base this season for the Redbirds. Pendleton takes his lead. Pendleton is going on 3-2, and it's a walk. So Orozco has started off the 12th by walking Pendleton and Heath. And Ozzie will come to the dish. He doubled in the 3rd, struck out in the 5th, singled and scored in the 8th, and grounded out in the 10th. Nothing shaking in either bullpen. Although I see Pat Perry now up and just loosening down there. He hasn't actually gone to the hill to throw any balls, but it looks like he's going to for the Cardinals. Well, Perry does start to throw in the Cardinal bullpen. 2 on and none out here in the 12th for the Redbirds. Tied 2-2. And Ozzie looks out at Orozco. Ozzie, a bunt to the right side. Fine play at third. In time. Well, Tuffle, who's playing first base, as we mentioned, for the first time in his career, came and got that ball and made a fine throw. Here it is now. Ozzie bunting to the right side. Didn't deaden it probably as well as he would like. Tuffle, a strike over to Howard Johnson to nip Pendleton.
Todd Worrell, number 25, Jerry White.
Jerry White will be the pinch batter. Runners at first and second with 1 out. Jerry White walked in his only time at bat for the Cardinals this season. White has a cut. White, who is 33 years of age, throw out to second, back in time. Mike Heath. White signed a contract Louisville December of '85, free agent. A non-roster player invited to spring training. Played in Japan, you see, and he's been around. Two strikes to count. White spent his major league career for the most part with Montreal. Played sparingly at Chicago. Hit .297 in '79 at Montreal. Came out of George Washington High School in San Francisco, where he was a great star. Orozco out in front. Two strikes to count on White. Outside. Heath is out at second, and Ozzie is at first with one out. We're in the 12th inning at Shea Stadium. The score tied 2-2. Cardinals about hit the Mets 7-4. That's high, 2-2. Now Roscoe looks in at Joe West, and West indicates it was just inside. Jerry White, born in Massachusetts, hit .251 with 37 home runs over the 2 seasons in Japan. The payoff pitch. Runners are going, and it is popped up. Santana, the shortstop, makes the play. And they're 2 on and 2 out for Vince Coleman. Vince this afternoon flied to center his first 2 times up. Then he tripled into the gap in right center and scored on a McGee single. Later, he popped out and grounded out. Coleman hit .247 last season against the Mets. Willie McGee, who did very well against the Mets, and for that matter, most of the teams in the National League, is on deck. Fouled away. Mentioned that Davey Johnson has been concerned about his bullpen, but today, to this point, he's had a very good performance from Roger McDowell and Jesse Orozco. Coleman could change that right here. Orozco took something off of it and fooled Coleman. Now Carter wants to talk things over with his hurler. Orozco got himself in trouble when he walked Pendleton and Heath to start this inning. Now he is very close to getting out of the jam. 2-strike count to Vince Coleman with 2 on and 2 out in the 12th, tied 2-2. Outside as he wasted one. Coleman became the 4th man in Major League history to steal 100 or more bases in one season. 110 for him last year. Major league record for a rookie. Fouled away, and Coleman has a life. Better than 49,000 in the house here this afternoon, and let's say about 40,000 are still here as we've gone past the 5:15 mark here in the East. Fouled away again. Orozco and Coleman battling here in the 12th inning. Final scores in the American League: Kansas City 8-2 over Boston, and Baltimore beat Toronto 2-1. Texas has an early 1-0 lead at Milwaukee. They're in the 3rd inning. Pittsburgh at Philadelphia and LA at San Diego tonight, the only other National League action. Outside, 2-2. Orozco working very slowly. This is the first of 45 telecasts along the Cardinal television network for you. And a nail biter to start things off. His 3rd strikeout. We'll go to the bottom of the 12th inning. The Cardinals and the Mets tied up at 2.
And batting ninth, number 37,
A 2-2 score here at Shea Stadium. We go to the bottom of the 12th and remind you that Busch Gardens, the Dark Continent, Tampa, is a magnificent 300-acre family entertainment center open year-round, and the Dark Continent is the most popular attraction on Florida's west coast. There are over 3,000 animals, and certainly it ranks among some of the top zoos in the world. The park offers a day's adventure, including live entertainment, over 24 shops, host of amusement rides for all ages. Admission is $15.50 per person. Children 2 and under are free. And they're open every day, 9:30 a.m. to 6, with extended hours on holidays and during the summer months. Just minutes from downtown Tampa, 90 minutes from Walt Disney World. You'll enjoy things like the Congo River Rapids, the Phoenix, 2 thrilling roller coasters, and Stanley Falls, animal shows. Busch Gardens, if you're in the Tampa area, you'll want to enjoy that. Well, there's Pat Perry, young man from Taylorville, Illinois. 27 years old, signed as a free agent by the Cardinals in August. He was released by the Cleveland Indians organization last year. And Perry will face Howard Johnson to start things off in the bottom of the 12th inning. Johnson came on in the 9th and popped out and then stayed in the game to play 3rd.
leading off, bottom half of the 12th inning, third baseman, Howard Johnson.
And we've got another paper airplane on the field, and Mike Heath will have to get rid of before we get things going. Brings it back, folds it up, and throws it over here to the bat boy. Well, Mayor Koch was here. He left early. Former President Nixon is still here watching, as that's a swing and a miss for Johnson against Perry. Perry spent his first season at the AAA level. Was used primarily in relief. Terry Pendleton making a fine play on one hop to cut down Howard Johnson. Pendleton, as Jack Buck mentioned, was pressuring himself early last season. He seems much more relaxed and mature. The start of '86 makes the fine play. Rafael Santana is 0 for 3 with a walk. He was stranded at third back in the third inning. That one gets away. 1 ball and 1 strike. To the score. And the 1-2 pitch struck him out. Got it in there on the inside corner. First strikeout for Pat Perry. And we're going to get a pinch hitter.
Batting for pitcher Jesse Orozco, number 38, Rick Aguilera.
Rick Aguilera, 0 for 2. So Orozco did a fine job. He went 2 innings, gave up no runs, 1 hit, a double by Clark in the 11th. He struck out 3 and walked 2. Aguilera, a pinch hitter, and it's rather unusual that you would see a pitcher be called on to pinch hit, but that's the case. Young man from San Gabriel, California, had a 10-7 record here last year and is a very fine hitting pitcher. They have in Gooden and in Aguilera two of the better hitting pitchers in the game. Bob Forsch in his day has done some fine hitting for the Cardinals. That's low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Pat Perry, and this one's fouled away. Aguilera, I'm reminded, was drafted out of high school by the Cardinals as a third baseman, but he didn't sign. And he turned to pitching in his sophomore year at Brigham Young University. Fouls it away. Two and 2. Pat Perry, the 4th pitcher of the afternoon for the Redbirds, following Horton, Daly, and Worrell. That's low. A full count to Aguilera, and Dykstra is on deck. A walk to the pinch batter. Oh, that's the winning run at first with 2 out. 12th inning. And Dykstra, who got a single back in the 10th, will come to the plate. It looked like Dykstra, who is a very talented butter, might be thinking about dragging one down the left side, but Pendleton was very alert. He's drawn up on the grass. There's what Dykstra has done this afternoon, and you get a good look at Pendleton. Perry steps off and wants to talk things over with Heath. Well, we'll recap things again if you're just getting home and turning on your set. The Mets scored in the third inning. They got a run without a hit as Knight and Santana both walked to start that third inning, and Tupple's sacrifice fly got Knight home. And the Cardinals tied it up in the sixth. That's a little low. The Redbirds went ahead in the eighth. Both RBIs for the Cardinals for Willie McGee. The Mets tied it in the ninth. One ball and 2 strikes to Dykstra. Aguilera at first base represents the winning run. We're 2 out in the 12th. Gets away from Heath. Pitch in the dirt, tough to handle. And now the winning run is at second. A wild pitch. I'll show it to you again. Not very pretty. Oh, now these fans are stirring. Foul, and it stays at 2-2. Mets in their 86 home opener, their 25th here in New York, and their 23rd at Shea Stadium. Full count, 3-2. This game had been a sellout for well over a month, and the folks who turned out have got their money's worth. Foul outside of first. Jack Clark dove to make sure it got by him, but it was foul. Billy Williams, the first base umpire. There's the man who represents the winning run, Aguilera, the pitcher who came on, and after Perry had gotten Johnson and Santana, he got the walk, went to second on the wild pitch. Say it again, here's the game on the line, 3-2 to Dykstra. In the center field, Willie McGee on the run is there. And after 12, we're tied up at 2-2. Let's remind you about the rest of this road trip. The Cardinals with a day off tomorrow, and then action here on Wednesday and Thursday afternoon. Our telecast scheduled for 12:30 St. Louis time. Pitching pairing on Wednesday, Rick Owenby against Ron Darling, and then Thursday, John Tudor against Sid Fernandez. The Cardinals then will head into Montreal for action Friday afternoon, Saturday afternoon, and Sunday afternoon. And then it's off to the Windy City for 3 against the Cubs before the Cardinals come home. And that homestand, of course, will feature the Mets The Redbirds will go against New York on the 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th. And you want to get your tickets early for that series. And then the Cardinals will head to the West Coast. And we'll meet San Francisco for a couple and into San Diego and Los Angeles before coming back home to open a homestand against San Diego on May the 6th. A 2-2 game as we move to the 13th inning. And we have been playing this one now for just about 4 hours, Mike.
13th, the lucky 13th.
The lucky 13th. Whatever you say, Old Irish.
Randy Neiman will be the new New York pitcher. When the players were introduced this afternoon, almost everyone got a roused and roving ovation.
Not this guy.
Randy Neiman was soundly and roundly booed by the New York fans. I hope they continue that. He gets the loss here today. What a game. We have had a barn burner here in Old Shea. You see Mr. Neiman as he takes his warm-up tosses, and we go to the 13th. We played a dozen, cousin, and we have a 2-2 game. There you see the stats on Neiman. Just 2 innings worked, 6 hits, 3 walks. An ERA of 9, and he's 0-1. He follows Gooden, McDowell, Orozco to the hill. For the Cardinals, it will be McGee, Herr, and Clark here in the 13th. Willie McGee has driven home both Redbird runs today. An RBI single in the 6th, a sacrifice fly to put the Cards on top in the 8th. Mets tied it in the 9th. McGee leads it off here in the 13th when he sends a souvenir into the seats. Randy Neiman. He is a long, tall drink of water. Pulls the string on Willie. He's out in front, 0-2. A wasted fastball. The sad part of this game is the fact that Rick Harton cannot win it, and he outpitched Dwight Gooden. Another foul into the press area. No doubt about who was the better pitcher today between Rick Harton and Dwight Gooden. Gooden went 8, gave 2 runs on 5 hits, struck out 6, walked 1. Harton went 7 innings, gave only 1 run and only 2 hits. Neiman is 6'5". Weighs 215. That's picked him up from the White Sox. And that's up the middle. The second baseman. Will he get McGee? No way. An infield single starts it off for the Cards here in the 13th. Let's see how the Redbirds played with Tommy Herr. All kinds of options here, Jay. Steal, hit and run. Mr. Herr, one of the best bat handlers in the game.
Get a look at the MVP of 1985, doing what he does best. Catch us if you can. Leg it out.
For McGee, his second hit of the day.
Well, Mike, you were interested in the strategy back in the 8th when Hurdle came in after Ozzie had singled. And Hurdle did the job, but
went hit and run.
It went hit and run.
Now out comes the pitching coach, Mel Stottlemyre, to talk over this situation. I don't think Herr is bunting.
Tommy's had a long day.
What a game. We have had some game here for the New York Mets home opener. Shea Stadium, Flushing, New York. 13th inning. The total's 2-7-0 for the Cards, 2-4-1 for the Mets. Neiman's the 4th pitcher of the day for the Mets. And he gives a leadoff single to McGee. You see Gary Carter back there flashing the signs. Well, I'm wrong again. They're going to try it second. Safe. They miss it, and I want to tell you, that usually spells trouble when you miss a guy on a fielder's choice, and that's what Herr reaches on, a fielder's choice. Let's take another look at it. You can't beat speed in this game. Herr bunts it very hard back to the mound. Neiman quickly gets rid of it, but he still can't get McGee at second base.
Well, as you said, Mike, there is no substitute for speed, and will he beat it?
Sacrifice and a fielder's choice, and we have 2 on, nobody out. If Clark bunts, I'll buy you a case of Budweiser, Mr. Randolph. This has been an unusual contest. We've had some very interesting situations in this game, and here we have yet another.
What an afternoon. Here comes Davy Johnson.
That's going to be all for Neiman, I believe. Let's take a look.
Well, he's bringing everybody in for a conference.
He's going to change pitchers.
I think
There's no doubt.
Yep.
Neiman hasn't pitched well this early part of '86. He's going to send him to the showers. We're going to have another pitching change.
And it's Bruce Bereni who is coming in.
Bereni is a guy that they picked up and who they're really counting on heavily out of the bullpen. And he's going to take over for Neiman here in the 13th, and he inherits a bad situation, a tough one. 2 on, nobody out. Bar Neiman. He didn't get anyone out. Gave a hit and a sacrifice. No strikeouts and no walks. He could be the loser. He cannot be the winner.
Now pitching.
And it's Bruce Bereni, former Cincinnati right-hander, into the action. Bereni, 6'3", 215, from Ohio. Last year with the Mets, he was 1-0. Also worked at Tidewater. And they talk about the situation here. It's Clark at the plate, McGee at second, Herr at first.
Well, we mentioned a couple of times throughout this telecast that Davy Johnson has been concerned about his bullpen. He certainly got an excellent performance from Roger McDowell and an excellent performance from Jesse Orozco. But Neiman causes him a little bit of a problem, and now he has to go to Bereni.
There are his stats for '85. Well, what does '86 hold for Mr. Bereni? We're going to find out here in a big hurry, aren't we? What a game. What a game. If you're just joining us, Rick Carton was the starter for the Cardinals. He outdueled the New York Cy Young Award winner.
He sure did. He went 7 innings, gave up just 1 run and 2 hits. He struck out 3, walked 4. He walked Knight and Santana in the 3rd inning, and eventually Knight scored.
There's Mr. Harton.
Pat Perry there, who's also seen action today. Horton, Daly, Worrell, and Perry have toiled for the Cardinals. Gooden, McDowell, Orozco, Neiman, and now Bereni for the Mets.
Bereni's coming off a rotator cuff tear, a slight tear,
Jack Clark.
and he's trying to bounce back. Well, he inherits a very tight situation. Clark at the platter. There are the runners. Herr at first, McGee at second, nobody out. 13th inning, 2-2 game. Clark will be pumping. Fastball just misses. Did you bet me that case of Budweiser?
Well, I'm thinking about it.
Well, I'll give you even odds. If he bunts, I'll buy you one. If he hits a home run, if he bunts, you buy me one. If he hits a home run, I'll buy you 2. Low again, 2-0, and tie yourself down if you're on the infield, because Mr. Clark will let some air out of this place. Jack this afternoon is 1 for 5. He doubled with 2 out in the 11th. He's batting with 2 on, no one out here in the 13th. Cards have out hit New York 7-4. The only air in this game belongs to the Mets. Caught the corner. 2-1. Pretty good pitch from Bruce Bereni. He's a bigot. 6'3", 215. He came over from Cincinnati. Misses low, and it's 3-1. Willie McGee has been a thorn in the New York side this afternoon. He has both Cardinal RBIs, and he's the potential winning run as you see him at second. Hers at first, nobody out. They bunch Clark in the outfield. They're very deep. Give him each line at left and right. Infielders look for the double play ball. If this is a fastball, watch Clark unwind. Half swing, and we have a full count.
I'm reminded, Mike, that Bereni at one time attended Northwest Missouri State University, and he is a nephew of a fellow who was a pretty good pitcher, Ned Garber.
Former Browns player. There's her. There's McGee. And there's Mr. Clark. And here's a 3-2 Bereni pitch. The runners are going. Ball 4. The bases are loaded for Tito Landrum. This is a revolting development as far as Davy Johnson and the Mets are concerned. A single, a sacrifice, and a fielder's choice let her reach, and now Clark walks to load them. Come on, you Redbirds.
I'll tell you.
Past opportunities, lost opportunities have a way of coming back to haunt you.
Well, these Mets lost a great opportunity. 3-run lead, 9th inning Saturday afternoon at Philadelphia, and let it get away.
Infield is in for the play at the plate with the bases loaded, nobody out in the 13th, and Landrum looks at it low, a sinker. Bereni wants a new baseball. He'll try anything now. Bubble gum, popcorn, Tums.
Landrum struck out in the 11th against Orozco and stranded Clark at second.
Orozco was tough today.
Yes, he was.
Went 2 innings, gave no runs and 1 hit, struck out 3. Landrum will be cutting. He was overmatched. 1-1. It's Pendleton on deck. The infielders are in on the grass for the play at the plate. It's McGee at third, her at second, Clark at first. There you see the scene. Bereni to the belt. Double play ball. Oh, he booted it through his legs. 2 runs will score, and thank you, Howard Johnson. The ice cream is on you. Woo-wee. Baby, what a big air. That was a perfect double play ball. They'd have come home to first, Jay, and he booted it cleanly. How he missed that? He must have taken his eye off of it. He had to. Let's look.
Here it is, and you wonder, Ray Knight probably makes this play, but Johnson mishandled it.
He didn't take his eye off of it either. I do not know.
Ball just got under his glove.
What a big play. McGee scores. Herr scores. Clark stopped at second. And Howard Johnson would like to find a hole to crawl in now. And most of this crowd of almost 50,000 is headed for the exits. What a big air that was. Whew. Here's Terry Pendleton. He's 0 for 4 with a walk. Out of play, trying to sacrifice. My goodness gracious. That's the last thing I thought would happen on that play.
I thought when it was hit that they were going to get 2. That's all there was to it.
Howard Johnson, veteran third baseman, 99 out of 100, maybe even more than that, would have made that play. Not so opening day. That's Shea. You'll remember that one a long, long time. Inside, and it's 1-1. Boy, there's no worse feeling than what Mr. Johnson is experiencing right now.
And you speak from experience. You played the hot corner for a long time, Mr. Shannon.
I never made one that bad, though. Thank goodness.
Thank
Gosh
goodness,
almighty. Too low again. 2-1. If it stays like this, Neiman will be the loser. Both those runs are charged to him. There's Clark at second. Landrum, the Cardinal runner, at first. 2 balls, 1 strike the count. Still nobody out, and there's the New York manager, Davy Johnson. See Santana just in behind Jack Clark at second. They're expecting the bunt. And they get it. You talk about a perfect bunt. He may not even get him at first. He doesn't. Safe, a base hit. You couldn't have rolled that one out there any better. The bottom has fallen out of the New York cradle. Base is loaded again with nobody out, and it's Mike Heath at the dish.
The next batter, catcher.
There's Howard Johnson. He's gone from the pot to the fire.
I suppose you could say that, Mr. Shannon.
I just did.
Usually.
I don't know what's in store for him next, but if he gets a hot shot down there and boots this one, he'll feel like Henny Penny. Mike Heath, the Cardinal catcher, could crush him. Outside again is Bruce Barini. Heath is the 6th man to bat here in the 13th inning. Told you it was lucky 13.
Lucky 13. You said it.
Bases loaded and nobody out. Good strike at the knees, 1-1. Infielders are still in for the play at the plate. They're going to try it again. Mike Heath 0 for 4 with a walk today. Good breaking ball at the knees. Tough pitch, 1-2.
Heath, the new Cardinal catcher, might as well get his first
Grand Slam.
RBI. It's right here, right?
If you're going to wish for it all. Grand Slam home run and put the Cardinals 6th on top. It's 4-2 now. Almost a wild pitch. A heck of a play by Carter. Boy, he's a good player. There's Mr. Clark at third. Mike Heath, former Oakland catcher, looking for, as Jay told you, his first RBI in a Redbird uniform. Landrum's at second, Pendleton at first. The outfield is deep, and they play Heath to hit into right. They'll come home with it, and they'll only get the 1. Good play by Wally Backman. 4-2 on the fielder's choice. And Ozzie Smith, who's had a remarkable game today, walks in. He doubled off of Gooden in the 3rd. He singled off of Gooden in the 8th.
Smith.
To come in to score, as you see Backman make a heck of a play on a tough chance. Get the man at home.
Backman, of course, was the man that scored the tying run in the 9th to send this game into extra innings.
There's a pinch runner for Keith Hernandez. So Ozzie's 2 for 5. Runners at second and third and first with the sacks jammed. He could have a great afternoon. Good slider, hit at the knees. Besides the offense that he's generated today, Ozzie's made 3 diving plays in the field.
Oh boy, he's been superb.
Out of play and a new bat for the Cardinal shortstop. Barini really got inside on it. Well, we're right back at you. Wednesday, we'll be on the air at 12:30. And we have another good pitching pairing with Rick Ownby, the former New York Met, against Ron Darling, who I think is one of the best right-handers in the National League.
And Thursday afternoon, again, a 12:30 start for you St. Louis time. John Tudor against Sid Fernandez.
Old Sid will be checking them in there. Pair of lefties will go. Redbirds would like some more. Lead by 2. 1 out. Bases loaded in the 13th, and a wild pitch, but no one can advance. And a great play by Carter. You talk about a competitor and a good everyday all-star catcher. The Mets sure have one. That one came up and caught him pretty good, close to the chin. Let's take another look at it. Watch, he doesn't try to catch it. He'll just block it.
Keep it in front of you.
Caught it off the left shoulder. at the corners, first and third, back at short and second. With the bases loaded. There's a base hit for Ozzie, his third of the day. 2 more will score, and the Cards lead by 4. A double, his second of the day, and Mr. Smith is off to a roaring start in 1986. Charge those 2 to Berini. There's a happy Cardinal dugout, and there's a happy shortstop.
Ozzie got the big contract last year, muscled up, hit much better, played brilliantly as usual in the field, and starts off this 86 season in very fine fashion, as Mike has mentioned.
Well, here's Pat Perry, the pitcher, and he stands to be the winner in this game if he can hold this 4-run lead. Second and third, 1 out in the infield, in for the play at the plate. And if the squeeze play was ever in order,
it's right here.
Order me 2. Let's see what happens. Will they pitch out? Broken bat, pop. Whitey loves the squeeze play. After the first pitch misses the strike zone. This situation here, though, he's got Vince Coleman on deck. The double play is not in order, so he'll just let Perry take his chances. Pat doesn't get to hit very often. There's the next man up, Vince Coleman. New York infield in on the grass. Big gap in right center. Perry gets one up there. He'll be out of breath when he quits running. Berini is the 5th pitcher of the day. Mr. Perry's going up there.
He takes a cut, doesn't
chucking,
he? Yes,
he?
sir, old Pat.
He's having some fun. Nice smile on his face. He said, I've had 2. He says, I'm in trouble now. If he hooks me, I'm going. What a ball game. This will be a tough loss for New York. And they'll have lost 3 in a row. They got off to a good start. 2-0. They've lost their last 2. Perry's down on strikes. That's all right, Pat. Just get the Mets out in the bottom of this 13th.
Left fielder, Vince Coleman.
Here's Vince, the Cardinal left fielder today. Is 1 for 6. He tripled and scored in the 6th inning to tie the game. Infield drops back at normal Vince Coleman depth now. The outfield is very deep. I tell you, Dykster's a good center fielder, but he plays much too deep. Plays way too deep. He's got Vince Coleman up there, who hasn't hit a home run out of the ballpark in the major leagues, and he's playing him like Mickey Mantle. Second and third, 2 down. And at the knees, says Joe West. That's not convinced, no. 1-1. There are the runners. Heath at third. The magician down at second, Ozzie Smith. Did he go around? They'll ask, you can bet. Yes, sir, says Frank Pulley. That's the first base umpire.
There's Pulley. He's bundled up. Must be colder at third than it is at first. Pulley's all bundled up.
Well, his ancestors are from southern Italy, and
yes,
so
that's right.
He's used to that warm weather. Another hit would give the Cardinals a 6-run lead. What a game. What a game. Harden started, went 7, gave 1 run on 2 hits. Daly went an inning and a third, was tagged for a run on 1 hit. Worrell 3 2/3, no runs on 2 hits. And Pat Perry, the pitcher of record now, has a chance to win it. Gooden went 8, gave 2 runs on 5 hits. McDowell and Orozco 2 innings each, no runs. Neiman, no innings, 2 runs, so he's in trouble again. That'll play for Dykster. That will end the Cardinal 13th. But the Cardinals sent 9 men to the plate. They scored 4 runs on 1, 2, just 3 hits. There was an error in the inning, 2 stranded, and as we go to the bottom of the 13th, the Cards lead 6-2.
Well, our Midas Touch Award is brought to you by your local Midas Muffler and Brake Shops, and Ozzie Smith gets the award today, and there's a donation to Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital in the name of Ozzie Smith, the Cardinal shortstop. Doubled in the 3rd. He singled and scored in the 8th. He doubled and got 2 RBIs in the 13th inning. Ozzie Smith, our Midas Touch Award winner on this Monday afternoon at Shea Stadium in New York. Cardinals lead at 6-2, bottom of the 13th. There's the Wizard of Oz. Been brilliant in the field, as Mike mentioned also. Tuffle leads it off against Pat Perry. Pat right down the middle. Pat will have a chance to pick up the victory. That's high, 1 ball and 1 strike. 6 runs on 10 hits and no errors for St. Louis. 2 runs on 4 hits and 2 errors for the Mets. Foul outside of 3rd. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Been a long afternoon, but if Perry can handle it here, a very good afternoon. Pendleton across the diamond in time. Wally Backman will stand in. Backman, as a pinch runner for Hernandez in the 9th, scored the tying run and sent this one into overtime. He popped out in the 11th inning. Well, there were 49,000 plus here. Not many left now as the faithful have headed for home. 1 strike the count to Backman. Swing and a miss. Perry with a good popping fastball. Gary Carter is on deck. And right back to Perry. Throws him out, 2 gone.
And now the Mets catcher, Jay Randolph.
Now let's pause for local station identification. This is the St. Louis Cardinals Television Network.
Your home for St. Louis Cardinals baseball. This is KLJB-TV Davenport.
Gary Carter with 2 out. Into right field, Landrum coming on. The Cardinals win it in extra innings. The Redbird record goes to 5-1 as the Cardinals defeat the Mets in their home opener 6-2. Some final thoughts in just a moment. Well, it took 4 hours and 21 minutes, but the Cardinals won it 6-2. 6-10-0 with 10 left for the Cardinals. 2-4-2 with 8 left for the Mets. Perry's the winner. He's 1-0. Neiman the loser. He's 0-2. And a reminder that we will be on the air on Wednesday afternoon from Shea Stadium. At that time, Rick Owenby will go for the Cardinals against the Mets' Ron Darling. Hope you can join us Wednesday afternoon at 12:30 for Game 2 of this 3-game series. For Jack Buck and for Mike Shannon, Jay Randolph. The Redbirds win it in extra innings 6-2. St. Louis Cardinals baseball.